National Civil War Museum in Harrisburg. The Civil War was fought between the years 1861 and 1865 following the Revolution. The war was fought to answer two questions that were left unresolved from the Revolutionary War. The first question, what to do with our nation? Should we split into two separate nations or should we remain as one union? And question two, are all men actually created equally and should we put an end to slavery? Let's head inside and look at what we can find. Come on!
Here are the two flags present during the Civil War. The one on the left represents the Confederates. The flag has less stars and stripes because they wanted to become separate from the Union. The flag on the right belongs to the Union. It is similar to the flag that we see today because it is representative of the nation as one whole. The soldiers here on the left is a Confederate soldier, while the one on the right is a Union soldier. As you can see, the uniforms are extremely similar. The Confederate soldiers used any uniform they could get their hands on and would bleach them to give them that dull gray color that you see here. The estimated total of soldiers in the war indicate that the Union outnumbered the Confederates 3-1 during the war. In the election of 1860, the Democratic Party was sectioned between two candidates. This led to the Republican candidate Abraham Lincoln to victory. The Republican Party he represented was mainly made up of businessmen, white Northerners, and African Americans. The core issues of this election that Lincoln won was future slavery in America, balance of congressional power, and state rights, which led to the war. As previously stated, slave trade was a big issue that was to be determined in the war. This image is taken from a courthouse where slaves were sold at auctions like property. Millions of men, women, and children were bought by Americans to be sold to white men to do manual labor. The Civil War was fought in part to determine their freedom.
The war officially started in April 1861 when the Confederates opened fire on the Federals at Fort Sumter, forcing them to lower the American flag.
The war was officially started at Fort Sumter in 1861. Fort Sumter was a safeguard for the Confederates and was given supplies by Lincoln's command. Lincoln sent a message that said that they were coming unarmed to supply the base. Upon arrival, the Confederates fired, jump-starting the war. Many battles were fought throughout the 5 years of war, and many men lost their lives in battle. The battles included the Battle at Fort Sumter, Battle of Gettysburg, 2 battles of Bull Run, and Battle of Fredericksburg, and many more.
The Battle of Gettysburg in 1863 was considered the turning point of the war. General Robert E. Lee forced the Confederates to retire in a way that they could never come back from.
The Battle of Gettysburg was a 3-day war that had the most casualties. It was considered the turning point of the war because it stopped the Confederates from moving north any further because they were losing too many men during the battle. Here is one example of the gruesome hospitals used to serve the wounded soldiers of the Battle of Gettysburg.
The war officially came to an end when General Robert E. Lee took his troops to the Appomattox Courthouse to get supplies, only to find himself surrounded by Ulysses S. Grant's army, and it left him no choice but to retreat the Confederate army for good.
This image is of the Appomattox Courthouse, where the war was officially put to an end in 1865, where the Confederates surrendered and left the Union victorious. This painting, titled "The Last Salute," was painted to depict the formal surrender at the courthouse. Both armies lined up and Grant officially put an end to the war in a civil manner, surrendering his troops and confirming the Union's victory of the Civil War.
Bye, museum! Thanks for everything!